My365. Welcome to an incredible opportunity for you to do something awesome, which is go to work on yourself. It's something that most of us are doing. I mean, we're all doing it. It's just, I suppose, deciding how good a job we are actually doing in bringing our best selves into the world. I've got Instagram here. I've got Facebook here. We're live here right now, and I'm just going to share this in a couple of places, and we're going to get stuck in. So tell me where you are in the world right now. Tell me where in the world are you? Where in the world are you? And tell me, how do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? And please don't say with my hands, because that's what my nieces say. I've been saying that ever since I can remember. I say, how do you feel with our hands? So hopefully you are feeling this with your hands, but also feeling this with your mind, your body, your soul, the whole of you. This is up your creative genius. You thought I was going to say something else there, didn't you? When I said up, fill in the gap. No, not up. No, up your creative genius. That is what we are here to look at for the next month on My365. That's what we're doing. We're helping people up their creative genius. And it's such a fascinating subject, this, to me, because I believe that we're all creative, but it was something that I really did not think was the case. I really didn't think this was the case. Feel free to share this as well, please. You never know who's going to watch this by you choosing to share this. This is a day. It's all free. I love that. Eggy Bread 2 joined. That sounds like, why aren't you Eggy Bread 1? Thank you for all your comments. Let's get stuck in. So on Mondays, we broadcast for free for anyone. And you can take this information today. You can apply it to your life. And I promise you, your life will never, ever be the same again. But the easiest thing to do with any information is do nothing. In fact, not even listen. But if you're looking to create something in your life, then I believe what the information I'm just about to give you will radically shift everything. Everything that you have ever thought about being creative, I want to shift that around, turn it around, supercharge it, so you start to realize that you are the most creative person on the planet. That's right, you, the most creative person on the planet. If you're not a My365 Elite member and you want to work with me for the next month on upping your creative genius, then click the link in the post here, and literally for £1 for 1 month, you can take advantage of the best opportunity in the world. I don't know of a better opportunity in the world right now for you to learn what you need to learn to bring the best self forward. So you have willpower, you have leadership, you have a strong mind, you have a strong body, you're confident, you've broken the habits that have held you back, and you've created the habits that are going to drive you forwards. Because a great life doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. It's as simple as that. And if you don't go to work on designing that life, you will go into a mode that really probably won't support you very well. So here's the first thing we're going to see here. Now, I want all of you quickly, very quickly, to make a word out of that. Once you've made a word out of these letters, making a word out of these letters, off you go. Make a word out of these letters right now. Off you go. And the first person to get it right will win a prize. Let's go. Come on. Make a word. Off you go. There are the letters. Make a word from this word. Well, that's not a word. It's just off you go. You've got another 5 seconds. Who's got it? Thank you for your kind words, by the way. So let me change this right round here. Anyone got it? There you go. That's the word. Reactive. Well done. Congratulations to someone who just got that right. Reactive. But of course, there's another word there, right? And this is the life that most of us are leading. When we're looking to up our creative genius, what most of us are actually doing is upping our reactive genius. Most of you, or maybe nearly every one of us, is very good at reacting. But what we need to do is recognize that the same word that exists in reactive is creative. We just need to move the C to the front. That's what we need to do. You move that C to the front, and you've got a completely different word. You have got creative. You have got creative. And I believe that somehow this word was meant to be that way because we have a choice. Do you see that? You have a choice. And if we were giving out awards for people reacting to things, would you get one of those awards? Reacting to impulses in your head. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh, but I'm going to, and react to it. Well done. You're probably a genius in there. How about reacting to what other people think about you? How about reacting in the way that you get up in the morning? How about reacting that when you start to create things for a little bit, you then react and sabotage your efforts? You can say to yourself, you are a genius. And many of you know, because we've spoken about this before, a genius is something which many of us think is, we're not a genius, right? We are not a genius. A genius is someone who knows a lot of stuff, and that's not us, you know. And even if we did know a lot of stuff, we probably wouldn't see ourselves as a genius. Many people think of Picasso, or creative geniuses, or Mozart, Beethoven, or even someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, a genius, a creative genius. But we've spoken about this before, and I'm going to say this very, very quickly. And really appreciate those of you on Facebook. Feel free to share this. It'd be great to get this information out there to the world, is that there's a genius in all of us. This is what the Romans believed, and I believe in the Romans and many of the things that the Romans did, because the Romans changed the way we live our lives, from sanitation to roads to many things that they did. But they also had this belief, and they believed it to be true, that there's a genius in you. And the genius was your inner voice that was always there. You were born with it, and it was there to direct you to bring out the best in you. That you were born with a seed of something that you and only you could do. This creativeness, something. And the one thing that you could do that no one else can do is be you, because no one else can be you. And imagine if you, rather than reacting and being you, you created the best version of you. You see, a genius is the voice in your head, but the genius is also someone who has really gone on doing the mundane, because it's the mundane that leads, not to just the interesting. The mundane leads to amazing. So when you look at the statue of David that Michelangelo carved, he didn't do that in a day, right? He used his creativity. He saw something within the marble that he'd seen inside his mind and decided to go to work on bringing this to life. The same with Mozart. He'd spent 20 odd years mastering, learning, until he produced, well, actually that's not true, but it wasn't very long, but it still had and deformed his fingers in the process of mastering his art. We need to master our art, which I think is being us. And this is what we're going to be doing over the next month. And I'm super excited about this. I cannot explain to you just how excited I am. Let's see if I can bring this up here so you can see it. You guys on Instagram can't really see this, but basically this is a map, if you like, of your current reality and your desired reality. So there's a few things that we have in common, right? What are a few things that we all have in common? I can tell you a few things we have in common is we're all toxic. We breathe toxic air, we eat toxic food, the fluid we drink has toxins in it, and we all have goals, dreams, and ambitions. And many of us, we know, we don't talk about them very often, or maybe you are the sort of person that this is what I'm going to do, and this is the life I want to create, and I want to make a difference. And we talk about our current reality, and most of us aren't particularly happy where we are, and we're not particularly hopeful of the future. And to be a creative genius, let me say this, the first thing I wanted to say today is, first of all, you are a genius. You are creative. Look at what you've created in your life. You could look at it as good or bad or right or wrong. And today, make a list of all the things that you've created, from worries to fears to doubt to excitement to you've designed the inside of your house. I had a chat with one of our My365 elite members on the weekend, and she told me she wasn't creative. Now, of course, it's all a question of how you look at things. But what she's created in her life and what she's crafted out is a series of masterful days, masterpiece days. We call them My365 days, where she's woken up and decided to go into creative mode, not to reactive mode, to go into creating mode. Does this make sense? To create your life. It's your gift. It's what you're doing with it. Now we can look back and think, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. That's fair enough, but where do you want to go? What's working right now? Right now. What is working right now? What is your current reality? And we're going to spend a lot of time working on this and I promise you to give you the very, very best of me over the next month to our elite members as we delve into this masterclass of upping your creative genius. Look, many of us, let's dispel the myth. Many of us think that we are not creative. And where does that come from? School. So I've got two little girls that are very special part of my life, right? And they're called Bo and Scarlett. They're 4 years old. And I went to see them yesterday. And Hannah, through her creative genius, had made them two throws to go on their bed. Unbelievable. Took hours and hours and hours, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And it's just unbelievable. Now, to me, that is as creative as that. Now, you might look at that and go, well, most of you wouldn't look at that and go, well, that's not creative. I mean, that's not very good, is it? I mean, And then the other voice comes in, you know, for many of us. Now, of course, you wouldn't say a 4-year-old is given that. Does she think that's creative? Do you think she's comparing that to her sister and going, well, yours is better than mine? Or no, they are putting what I would call their life energy into something. And when they give you this, that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel what they put into this. That is what they're giving you. Now, of course, many of us, when we went to school, we were told what being creative was. And then we had to fit that into a box of thinking. I am not creative. I used to think I am not visual. I am not artistic. I firmly believe that because I couldn't draw a banana in a bowl. Or I probably could. I just wasn't taught how to do it in the way that my mind worked. Let's face facts. Let's wake up today. Let's wake up today and decide that we are creative. We are the most creative force in our life. And it's really up to you whether you want to bring that better version of you into the world. Does this make sense to everyone? Is this hitting the mark? Are you waking up to the fact, look, if you really don't go to work on deciding to create your life and putting the systems in place, and this is what we need to look at. We need to look at what are the systems that are absolutely essential for you bringing the best you into the world. And this is what this masterclass is all designed to do. I'm going to actually show you guys this right here, right now. Let's bring this into here so you guys can see it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on Instagram, but let's bring this out of here. And here you can see the masterclass. And when you become a My365 Elite member, the masterclasses are best year yet, wellness, mindfulness. And this is what we're doing this month. Up your creative genius. This is a genius of a masterclass here with a whole lot of game changers about how you bring your best self into the world. Because I promise you, if you don't go to work on bringing your best self into the world will work against you. The reason there are so many unhappy people in the world, and there are so many, let me put it to you like this. What is the most expensive land in the world? Now, I heard this from someone else, a mentor of mine. He said the most expensive land in the world is the graveyard. The graveyard? Yes, the graveyard. Why? Because there's loads of people there that have been buried with loads of ideas, things they wanted to create, and they didn't create because they were maybe worried about what other people thought. They thought they were going to fail. Maybe they couldn't be bothered. Maybe they didn't bring their genius into the world, and maybe they let their impulses and their reactivity take control of their creativity. Now, I'm here, as many of you know, to support, guide, and inspire you as you become the person that you truly want to be. And that takes hard work. That takes dedication. It takes tools, tips, and techniques. And that's what we're going to be working on the whole of this month. And if you're not an elite member and you want to take something away from today, maybe you can take away from today that the time has come for you to look in the mirror and say, I'm the creative force in my life. And what are the things that I need to do right here, right now, to start creating a system? You see, a system, people think that has to be complicated. A system could be literally getting up at a certain time every day and doing X, Y, and Z. So when I go to bed at night, I make sure that the table I'm working on right now is already set up in terms of I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I just have to go straight into creating. If I don't, I go into a reactive mode. And believe you me, I can be the most reactive person on the planet. So how many of you agree with this? You agree, you know what, Pete, I've never thought of it like that before. Because often that's what we need to do. Change often happens when we start to think to ourselves, you know what, I've never, ever thought of it like that before. And as you can see, those of you that are looking this on Facebook, the goal here over the next month is to really go from your current reality to your desired reality and then look in the middle. Think of it like this, an island and another island. Current reality, desired reality. Many of you, the island is so far apart that you think there's no point even trying. It's just a pipe dream. We want to bring this together by thinking about 3 bold steps that we can do every single day. That if we did those bold steps over time, and maybe some of that would be quite boring, but the boring will lead to something amazing. If you look at any masterpiece and think, how did that masterpiece come about? From a whole load of other work which took place. A major study that was done on violinists showed that there were no grinders. There were no grinders that literally practiced and practiced and practiced and didn't go anywhere. They all got somewhere. And that's what practice, and if it's a deliberate practice that comes about by creating the systems that you put in place, then you can do something unbelievable. Today is the day you wake up and you say, I am creative and I'm going to create a great day. And however you choose to do that. And these violinists, what showed it when they were put into 3 groups, quite simply, the ones who practiced the most, they were the most prolific. It wasn't talent. Talent counts for nothing if you don't have the creativity to go to work on doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. I can't put it to you any other way. I'm just looking at my notes here, because if you look at what the word creating means, it means to produce. You know, you're producing something. So, Michelle, who I spoke to at the weekend, you're telling me you're not creative? Look at what you have produced. Day in, day out, going to work on yourself, bringing your best self into the world. And I admire all of you for that. Any one of you that goes to work, even when you don't feel like it, that's the measure of a champion. Turning up when it's raining, turning up when everyone else is complaining. And many of you know this is a pretty challenging time in my life right now, but I'm still not giving up on what is wildly important to me. And if you don't know what's wildly important to you, let me work with you for the next month and let me help you work out what is wildly important, because this is where we're going to start getting really interesting. And I can't wait to get stuck into some more content with you guys over the next week, because many of us, let's finish on this. There are 4 zones, right? There are things that we're incompetent. We don't want to do. We hate doing. We're not good at them. For me, it's maths. It's not for me. Accounting, not for me. We've got a good accountant, and luckily my wife is very good at keeping the books. Then there's the competence, things that you're competent at, but you don't really enjoy doing them. Like I can easily put videos together and, I'm competent at it. Then there's things that I'm excellent at. And then and that's what most of us do for a living. We're just excellent at X, Y, and Z. And that's okay. But then there's our genius zone. Our genius zone. I'm very lucky that my genius zone and my excellence mode are pretty connected. The genius mode is when you really work out what your greatest gifts and talents actually are, and you want to give them to the world. And maybe you love it, and maybe for some of you, it's actually what you love to do. It's what the world needs, and it's what you're great at. And you can make money from that, which is one of the things. And by the way, we launch tomorrow, the My365 Business podcast tomorrow morning. Any of you that are interested in business, whether you have a business, you want to start a business, get involved. My365, we are taking over the world, the #1 coaching opportunity in the world. What is your biggest takeaway from today? Is it, where's my little bit of paper? Is it that you realize, whoa, I just need to put the C in front of the R instead of stop reacting and start creating? How do I create systems? Put some systems in place that allow you to confidently move forward in the direction that you want to go. What else do we look at? There's a genius inside you. You know that. Let's start thinking about where we are, where we want to be, and start thinking about what are some bold steps that I could take. to manifest this. Some of you have been through this process before with me, and all I'd say to you is, so what? Just because you did it once, you think that's enough? Wow. This is something I do every single day, apart from a few days ago. It was the first time in probably about 4-5 months that I haven't actually gone through this process. Nobody's perfect. Thank you so much for showing up here today. By you guys sharing this, we really appreciate that, because this is our opportunity to get up in front of people and show the world what we're about. And that's what I want to do with you. I want to help you work out what you're about so you can give your best self to the world. If you've enjoyed the broadcast, make a comment. What's your biggest takeaway from today? And like I say, feel free to share it. We'll see you tomorrow morning for our elite members. Anyone can become elite if you want, but our elite members, make sure you delve into the masterclass. Let me bring this back into play. Let me bring this out of here. You want to print off the worksheet here. There's the goals. There's a goal setting workshop, which would be brilliant for you guys to do. Start thinking about the goals in your life to do with your health and your family and your work, and to really bring that to life. And then we're going to use your creative genius over the next 4 weeks for you to bring more of that to life, which is just so exciting. And there's a worksheet for that. And there's actually a worksheet for the goal setting workshop as well. Let's go to work. Let's do what we should have done at school. Learn the things which really would have helped us be happy, healthy, and make a massive difference to this world. So without any further ado, whatever that means, without any further ado, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. If you want to come join us, come join us. And we'll see you tomorrow. All the best. Much love. Waving to you guys on Instagram. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. All the best. Much love to all.